play an old one of mine. If I can remember the words. It's called Roadside Lullaby. And it goes like this. Like a drunkard at the altar, well, I've tried dance with grace. Every chance I dare to take gets thrown back in my face. It's tossed right in my face. Out on this westbound stretch 21, where smoke signals always fade, and tears on the tarmac trace every step I pace, as I'm thinking about all them yesterdays, missing too many yesterdays. Best forsaken, but I got this. Oh, roadside lullaby. At night I am singing this roadside lullaby. It keeps me getting by. So tired of feeling like I lost it all. My trembling hand to a luckless draw. There's 20 miles still to go, and this tank she's running mighty low. So tired of the goddamn fumes. Tried blanketing the bourbon and pills. Nothing to take me back to the way things used to feel. Life's made of back roads that you should be taking, boy. Ain't that highway that's best forsaken? And I got this. Oh, roadside lullaby. At night I go singing sweet bye-bye. So roadside lullaby. I've been making it now, $14 a day, and a handful of broken Spanish, and I'm looking for one part of me, the part that always used to shine, hoping it ain't vanished. I still got, I'm still singing, I'm still picking this roadside lullaby. Sweet bye-bye, 'cause it keeps me getting by. Right. That's a real old one, but hopefully they didn't fuck it up too bad. But that's the cool thing about playing your own shit. Nobody really knows if you fuck it up or not.
So we're sitting here with Chris Edwards at Bubba T's. It is August either 11th or 12th. My watch is wrong. This is Any City Music. Say hello to the crowd there, bud.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Chris Edwards.
All right. So Chris Edwards, he's local talent. Where are you originally from?
Well, I grew up in Coleman Hill, Casey, and I moved back there about 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years. So I'm, I guess, straight out of Coleman Hill.
Coleman Hill, right?
Coleman Hill, yes sir.
Actually, I covered some stuff in Coleman Hill, but we won't go into that. So tell me your background as far as how you got into music.
Well, Casey, I was around music from the time I was very young. Like when I was about 5 or 6, I'd go out with my granddad to bluegrass shows that he played. He was an old-time and bluegrass fiddler, and so I just kind of grew up around it. Like I was raised mostly by my grandparents, and my grandmother was also really into music, and she wrote poetry and everything. And of course, my granddad played the fiddle, and he also played a little guitar and mandolin and things like that, and piano. And so I learned the rudiments of some of those instruments from him. And when I was a teenager, I played the drums and kind of messed around with the guitar a little bit. And later, when I was in college, around the time when the Pat Green and the Texas music movement was kind of, hitting full steam, it's kind of when I got into writing songs and playing for people and playing guitar and, that kind of thing, really seriously.
So, I hear you play like Townes Van Zandt, which I'm just going to throw this out there for everybody. I'm a huge Townes Van Zandt fan. It's right up the road down here, Van Zandt County,
Absolutely.
Texas. So what is kind of your inspiration for getting into that?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I've got a lot of influences, both musically and literally, because or in literature, because mainly what I focus on is lyrics. And Townes is really, as far as music goes, my big musical influence. And when I was growing up, my grandparents were both into Townes, like not real big into him, but they loved his songs, and especially my grandmother. And, I kind of put it in my back pocket. Of course, I grew up hearing those songs and loving them when I was a child. But when I got into college, like I said, the Texas music thing was big. And guys like Pat Green and Corey Morrow and all those guys, were, playing Townes' covers of his songs and name-checking him a lot. And, some of the forebears of that movement, like Jerry Jeff, also covered Townes a lot. And so what I kind of did some backtracking. I was like, man, I know those songs. I grew up hearing them. And when I got into Townes Good and Proper, and then a buddy of mine gave me the Live at the Old Quarter album back in like 03 or 04. And that's just what just kind of, sprung it wide open for me. Like, as far as I'm concerned, that's like the Rosetta Stone of Texas country music right there. It's one of my favorite records ever.
Okay, so speaking of Townes, he always referred to himself as more of a songwriter, singer-songwriter. More of an artist behind the scenes is what he wanted to be. So I've heard you refer to yourself as the same thing, as singer-songwriter. So tell me a little bit about that. What's your creative process?
Well, Casey, honestly, there's really no set process. I mean, when I'm at the house and I'm just kind of alone with my cats, it's like, I mean, sometimes I'll pick up a guitar or I'll sit at my keyboard or whatever, and I might have a melody in mind and work it out, whether it's picking it on the guitar or playing it on the keyboard, or I might have some words that I write down. I mean, there's really no set way to, for me to really write a song. And, kind of along the same lines, sometimes some songs come to me just like that, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I've got a working version of a song, and then sometimes it takes 2 years or so, but there's really no set way, or set process that I really adhere to.
Okay, so you're just kind of
thankful to be able to, be writing again. I had a pretty lengthy drought and a pretty big absence from the music business, so I'm just thankful to be back, doing this again.
So how long has it been since you've been doing it?
Well, I guess I started playing for people, doing the singer-songwriter thing around 2003, I guess is when I started doing that. And, I played off and on, solo or playing with bands, steadily throughout most of those years up until about 2014 or so is kind of when I stopped. I mean, I've been taking a pretty good break for a while, and I'm kind of back into it now. I've got some skin back in the game, and like I said, I'm just thankful and blessed to be doing it again, and thankful that people want to hear me sing again. So yeah.
See, Any City Music is traditionally more rock and roll, and what you don't know at this moment is you're actually going to be one of our first premier artists that we branch outside of that. So you're more, I don't want to say country, but hometown, kind of like home cooked music, like this soul food, So
Appreciate that.
Well, absolutely. So I understand you got some dates coming up for some shows, maybe a little far from here, but why don't you tell me?
Absolutely, Casey. And man, I'm honored that you would have me on here. And secondly, thanks again for all the kind words that you've given me. I guess, it is kind of country, but it's also kind of folky and blues and all that kind of thing. It's just, man, I really just focus on writing the best songs I can write. And, I like, playing other people's songs and stuff, too. But, it's just whatever strikes a chord with me. And, we've got, I'm playing mostly acoustic shows right now throughout August and some of September. But we've got a couple of shows with my band lined up. I'm going to be in Houston for a couple of shows this month. And Galveston at the end of the month. I'm playing the Old Quarter next weekend. And which is a really cool spot that you mentioned Towns. We talked about him a bit. That's one of Towns' old hangouts from back in the day. And I'm playing the Woody's Beach Bar at the end of the month with my buddy Gabe Wooton, who's a really great songwriter that everybody should check out. And next month, I'm playing with my band in Nacogdoches. A couple of dates at the Macklemore's in Nacogdoches on the 15th. And we're also playing the Pine Knot Music Co-op on the 22nd. If anybody watching this, if you haven't been to a Pine Knot show in Nacogdoches, please, by all means, get a babysitter, do whatever you need to do, take off work, go and treat yourself. It is the coolest thing. It's just people who love music. They put these on, and you'll hear some great bands, and myself. But we're doing that, and I've got a couple of dates also further into the fall. I'm playing Macklemore's again in October, and going up to Nashville for a couple of dates in November. And I'm just kind of, playing it by ear right now, trying to get some dates on the calendar, and just, like I said, just trying to get back in it. One thing also that I would advise everybody to check out, me and my drummer, we do this thing every year. Well, I say we do, but it's a labor of love for a lot of different groups. We just happen to do a lot of the bulk of putting it on. It's a barbecue we do every year, and we call it the Sabine River Brass Band Barbecue. That's his main project, is a Sabine River Brass Band. And right now we're planning to do it October the 21st. Out at Millard's Crossing in Nacogdoches, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So anybody who's on Facebook and all that, keep abreast and look us up. I'm on there, Chris Edwards Music, and my buddy Jason is my drummer. His band, the Sabine River Brass Band, they're on there too. So hit them up and keep abreast of what we're doing, and it'll be a good time, I promise.
Well, while I got you here, I want to put you on the spot about something.
Oh, certainly.
And it's the first time that we're going to officially announce it for Any City Music, so I'm going to kind of throw this out here. In the early fall, mid-fall maybe, we're planning on doing something at my house. It's exclusive only to musicians and, their immediate families or friends, husbands, wives, whatever it be. It's going to be a kid-friendly event during the day. At night, kids got to leave. But we're going to have a day show where we feature several bands and solo acts, hopefully bands, but I know some solo acts have already signed up.
Yeah.
And then at night we're going to do a kind of like classic movie, maybe Pulp Fiction. Who doesn't love Pulp Fiction? Or The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to do that kind of thing outside, kind of on a projector type situation. So I'm going to go ahead and put you on the spot here and formally invite you to play.
Man, I am honored, Casey. Count me in, brother.
All right, well, we'll check schedule dates and we'll go. Hey, you in the band, anything work? See, because what we want to do, and while I got everybody here and go ahead and announce it, what we want to do is start an annual event where Any City Music basically provides a meet and greet, if you will, for the various musicians that we come in contact with, which vary greatly. And we would like for them to start commingling, at least. And so you could think of it a one-day retreat for local musicians. Is that an idea you think is pretty cool, or what do you think?
Man, I think that's phenomenal, Casey. Like, I think that, you guys have a really cool scene here in Lufkin. I lived here years and years ago, and I mean, I played at, Jim Ann's when it was the Sports Shack and kind of around town here and there, and there wasn't really kind of a unified scene, but I mean, what you guys are doing is really awesome. And I'm definitely down for that, and whatever I can do to kind of help promote that, just let me know. I'm just honored that you'd consider me.
Well, while I consider what we're doing a great compliment, by all means, there are many more doing more than Any City Music. Some of these musicians around here are superb.
There's a lot of talent around.
We've got Marshall Hance, we got Jake Carr, we got Jake Shoemaker right here. Jake Shoemaker, say hi for the camera. We're in an interview.
Hello, camera.
Now this guy just killed it. You're going to see some of his. I just stopped the recording. All right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so what do you got going on, Jake?
I'm going home to my pregnant girlfriend.
Oh, yeah? And so how far along are we?
2 months.
All right, everybody give Jake a congratulations. Make sure to send him a lot of good gifts, like a toaster,
I'll write a song about it.
And he'll write a song about it. Send him gifts. Later, brother. You be good. All right, so we're going to wrap this up real quick. What would you like to say to up-and-coming talent?
Well, to any up-and-coming talent who is watching this or who's paying attention to Any City Music, I would say, you guys just come out and play these events when you can make it out and get to know some of these cats. I mean, there's a lot of talent here in the woods. And, the best music is always going to be made by you guys who are in your bedrooms and have some issues in your life and are writing songs about it and learn to play and learn to sing. But come out and get to know some of these people. Get to know Mr. Casey Sizemore here, Mr. Jacob Deering, or, whoever. And just put your talent out there, like I said, I mean, I took a break from music for a long time. And I'm just thankful and blessed to be back doing this, and thankful and blessed that some of these cats are, coming out and, doing stuff like this. So, and, spreading some love to this scene. So, you guys just keep doing what you're doing. And, yeah, that's about all I have.
All right, well, that was Chris Edwards. This is Any City Music. Cheers to each and every one of you. Cheers to you, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.